Monday, December 19th, 2022, regular meeting of the Gardner City M. Council will come to order. The clerk will please call the roll.
Councilor Boone?
Present.
Councilor Boudreaux?
Present.
Councilor Craig Cormier?
Present.
Councilor Rhonda Cormier?
Present.
Councilor Donalowitz?
Present.
Councilor Hardern?
Present.
Councilor Heath?
Present.
Councilor Mack?
Present.
Councilor Tyros?
Present.
Councilor Walsh?
Present.
And President Kaczynskis.
Present. Please rise to recite the opening prayer and say the pledge of allegiance. Almighty God, we thank you for bringing us together this evening. Inspire us to worthy deeds and sound decisions, and direct us toward the attainment of good city government. We pray you to bless and protect all the people of our city, and to so guide and inspire us that we may deliberate in unity and harmony. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Open meeting recording notice. Any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium subject to reasonable requirements of the chair as to the number, placement, and operation of equipment used so as not to interfere with the conduct of the meeting. Any person intending to make such recording shall notify the chair forthwith. All documents and exhibits used or referenced at the meeting must be submitted to in duplicate to the chair as they become part of the meeting minutes pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 20. Is anyone here recording tonight's meeting? We'll begin with the reading and approval of the August 1st, 2022 regular meeting, September 7th, 2022 regular meeting, September 19th, 2022 informal meeting, September 19th, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Councilor Ronald Cormier.
Madam President, I make a motion that we waive the reading of the minutes of those meetings and accept them as presented.
Second the motion.
Motion made by Councilor Ron Cormier, seconded by Councilor Walsh to waive the reading of the minutes of the meetings and accept them as presented. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. There are no public hearings. At this time, I'm going to take item number 10858, a measure out of order, and we're going to entertain that item right now. It's on page 4 of our packet. Item 10858, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Anthony Whitman to the position of local inspector for term expiring November 25th, 2025. Councilor Tyros?
Thank you, Madam President. The committee met with Commissioner Jean and the appointee. This is a new appointment. Mr. Whitman has extensive experience in the field and holds all necessary licenses and certificates. Commissioner Jean had stated to us in our meeting that this position had been advertised for many years as part-time with little interest for the city. Now this is a full-time position. Commissioner Jean stated Mr. Whitman has performed very well since starting November 21st. He's excited to have him as a member of the team, and the committee voted unanimously to recommend. Therefore, I move the appointment be certified.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Tyros, seconded by Councilor Mack to confirm the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion passes. At this time, we will take a brief recess of the meeting to swear in Mr. Whitman this evening, and then we will reconvene after the swearing in is completed and call the meeting back to order at that time.
I, Anthony Whitman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
perform the duties of local inspector
perform the duties of a local inspector
according to the law and the best of my abilities.
according to the law and the best of my ability. Thank you very much. Good job. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're going to call the meeting back to order. Back to page 1 of our packet, continuing with communications from the mayor. Item number 10865, an order appropriating $20,000 from free cash to the IT department cybersecurity software account. Report from the Finance Committee, Councilor Ron Cormier.
Yes, for years we've used the Kaspersky security system to protect our software, but that's been, I guess, blacklisted, if you will, because it's a Russian company. And the government has said we no longer can use that. So we've had to switch providers, and it's required, well, to be honest, more expense, renewal fees and so on. And that's the reason for the $27,000. I make a motion, and the Finance Committee was in favor. Make a motion that we pass the order.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Ron Cormier, seconded by Counselor Darnell Louts to pass the order. Is there discussion on the motion? The clerk will please call the roll.
Counselor Boone,
Yes.
Counselor Boudreaux,
Yes.
Counselor Craig Cormier,
Yes.
Counselor Rhonda Cormier,
Yes.
Counselor Denalowitz,
Yes.
Counselor Hardern,
Yes.
Counselor Heath,
Yes.
Counselor Matt,
Yes.
Counselor Tyros,
Yes.
Counselor Walsh,
Yes.
and President Kazinskas.
Yes.
10 yeas, 11 yeas.
11 yeas, the motion passes. Communications, item number 10866, a measure declaring surplus for the purpose of disposal of land and buildings at 73 Stewart Street. Report from the Finance Committee, Counselor Darnell-Owens.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a former factory just off of Park Street. The city has taken ownership via tax taking. Any real rehabilitation of the building is highly unlikely, as was in our packet from Director Jean, and it does pose a fire hazard. The mayor has recommended to place the property for sale for a minimum price of $17,500. Finance Committee was in unanimous agreement, and I move to declare the property surplus.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Darnell, seconded by Counselor Ron Cormier to declare the property surplus. Is there discussion on the motion? Counselor Boone?
Thank you, Madam President. Normally, we try to make sure that our minimum is reasonable. And in this case, I'm a little concerned that the condition of that property, and I appreciate the mayor and everybody for trying to get back our back taxes. But I'm concerned that we're not gonna be able to sell it for what we're even asking, because they're gonna have to tear down that building. Who knows what's in that ground? There's so many variables, and again, I appreciate us trying to get back our back taxes. I'm just concerned we're not gonna even be able to sell it for what we're asking. And I guess like anything, we put it on the market and see what we got, but just wanna bring up my concerns.
Thank you, Counselor. Further discussion? Counselor Walsh?
I know we've had situations in the past where the minimum price approved by the council has been too high to warrant to get interested buyers, and the mayor has come back asking for a change in the amount. So I think that'll be an option in the event that it occurs in this particular case. But I think at a minimum, we're waiving the interest waiving interest that's accrued on the unpaid taxes. We're just setting the actual tax. I think it's a good sized lot, and it'll be good for residential purposes, I think, although we don't know it's in the land. So I think it's a reasonable request. It's a modest price for a building lot in a residential area, notwithstanding the fact that the cost of tearing it down is an obstacle. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Further discussion? Counselor Heath?
Yes, as obviously that's in my ward. I've gotten numerous calls about that building. I know that there's been parts of the building that just broke off last week. There's kids that run in and out that building. There's a lot of skunks, I guess they said, that are living in that building. Yeah, so I mean, personally, I think, like you said, the lot would be good for something residential. There is a park right around the corner, so that's all.
Thank you, Counselor. Further discussion?
Last
Councilor Boone?
comment. Thank you, Madam President. In this case, I'm usually pretty frugal, but we've offered things for $1 before, and this might be a case where we need to do that, but I am going to support the motion, so thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item number 10867, a measure authorizing an intermunicipal agreement between City of Gardner and Town of Ashby for Veteran Services. Report from the Finance Committee. Counselor Darnell-Owens.
Thank you, Madam President. The Town of Ashby reached out about entering a regional veteran services agreement with the City of Gardner, such as we have already with Ashburnham, Westminster, and Princeton. Director Gabrilla was in favor and actually has already been assisting some of these veterans as they don't currently have an agent in Ashby. As with the other agreements, the Town of Ashby will still be responsible for paying the actual veteran benefits to their veteran residents. Finance Committee was in favor, and I move to approve the measure.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Derlout, seconded by Counselor Boudreau to approve the measures. Is there discussion on the motion? Counselor Boudreau?
I was fortunate enough to get to work with Adrian Gabriella. Is that her? I don't call her by her last name, but I was fortunate enough to get to work with her in a number of communities outside of Gardner, and she is a rock star. A lot of these people that it's not the best situation that they're going into, they're seeking assistance, but they have fun with her, they make the most out of it, and I think she's a wonderful director, and I'm happy she's taking on more responsibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10871, a notification from the mayor regarding the certification of FY 2023 tax rate report from the Finance Committee. Counselor Cormier?
Motion to place the document on file.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Ron Cormier, seconded by Counselor Derlout to place the notification on file. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Appointments, item number 10875, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Neil Jansen to the position of Special Act Charter Drafting Committee for a term expiring upon submission to City Council. Counselor Tyros?
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer this to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to refer the item to the Appointments Committee. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion passes. Item 10876, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Tina Griffin to the position of Special Act Charter Drafting Committee for term expiring upon submission to City Council. Counselor Tyros?
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to refer the item to the Appointments Committee. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item number 10877, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Robert Rice, Esquire, to the position of Special Act Charter Drafting Committee for term expiring upon submission to the City Council. Counselor Tyros?
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer this item to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to refer the item to the Appointments Committee. Is there discussion on the motion? Counselor Walsh?
I'll be abstaining from a vote associated with Attorney Rice's appointment. I had a long-standing professional affiliation with Attorney Rice for some 30 years or so I feel that it's appropriate to abstain from participation in the vote.
Thank you, Counselor. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. One abstention. Petitions, applications, communications, etc. Item number 10868, applications for motor vehicle dealers licenses Class 1. A, Salvador Chevrolet, 442 West Broadway. B, Salvador Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 442 West Broadway. Report from the Safety Committee.
Yes,
Councilor
although
Burke.
this item has not been referred to the Safety Committee, this item did come in time to be on our agenda for our meeting this past Friday. We did meet with the Chief of Police and the City Clerk. Both assured us that this business was in good standing both with the community and in the tax rolls. It's a long-standing business, and it's an application for renewal, and so we're unanimously in favor, and I move the application.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Craig Cormier, seconded by Counselor Boone to approve the applications. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10869, applications for motor vehicle dealers licenses Class 2. A, AC Auto Clinic, 411 Parker Street. B, Blake Motors, 412 Main Street. C, Brian's Auto Sales, 549 West Broadway. D, Gardner Auto Mart Incorporated, 182 West Street. E, Gardner Motors LLC, 119 Pearson Boulevard. F, JPJ Automotive LLC, 78 East Broadway. G, Mike's Auto, 251 East Broadway. H, Osagi Enterprise LLC, 43 Toby Street. I, Rick's Radiator Repair Used Car Sales, 800 West Broadway. J, Salvador Chevrolet, 421 West Broadway. K, Salvador Chevrolet, 249 Tiffany Boulevard. L, Sylvester R. Angway Sales, 146 Sherman Street. M, Rob's Dino Services LLC, 268 Coleman Street. N, J Wood Incorporated, 361 West Street. O, TJ and Sons Auto Sales, 537 West Broadway. Report from the Safety Committee. Councilor Craig Cormier.
Again, we got this item in time for the Safety Committee to review this. All of these businesses are renewals. They're all in good standing with the city. both on the tax rolls and with the police department. And therefore, we are unanimously in favor, and we move to approve the applications.
Motion made by Counselor Cormier, seconded by Counselor Hardern to approve the applications. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Petitions, applications, communications, etc. Item number 10870, applications for motor vehicle dealers licenses Class 3, Osagi Enterprise LLC, used auto parts sales, 43 Toby Street. Report from the Safety Committee, Councilor Craig Cormier.
Again, this item actually came in time for us to review it. We reviewed it with both with the public safety chief and the city clerk, and this business is in good standing, and we unanimously move to approve the application.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Craig Cormier, seconded by Counselor Boone to approve the applications. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10872, a measure confirming the council president's appointment of Jennifer Zlotnick-Polavin Esquire to the position of Special Act Charter Drafting Committee member for term expiring upon submission to City Council. Excuse me, Counselor Tyros.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer this item to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to refer the item to the Appointments Committee. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10873, a measure confirming the council president's appointment of Alan L. Agnelli to the position of Special Act Charter Drafting Committee member for term expiring upon submission to City Council. Counselor Tyros.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to refer this item to the Appointments Committee.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Tyros, seconded by Counselor Mack to refer the item to the Appointments Committee. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10874, notification from City Clerk of Ward 3 Councilor vacancy. Counselor Walsh.
Move that the communication be placed on file and that the council president make arrangements pursuant to our city charter to fill the vacancy identified in the correspondence.
Second.
Who's the second? Okay. Motion made by Counselor Walsh, seconded by Counselor Tyros to place the notification on file. Is there discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Reports of standing committees. Finance Committee. Item 10855, an order appropriating $10,000 free cash to City Clerk's temporary staffing account. Councilor Darrell-Owens.
Thank you, Madam President. Both assistant city clerks will be retiring at the end of the fiscal year, so Clerk Serafan has asked for one temporary employee, requesting funds to hire one temporary employee. So there are two fully trained staff members when the retirement occurs. There is currently another temporary employee in the office. Finance Committee was in favor, and I move the order.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Darrell-Owens, seconded by Counselor Ron Cormier to pass the order. Is there discussion on the motion? The clerk will please call the roll.
Counselor Boone?
Yes.
Counselor Boudreaux?
Yes.
Counselor Craig Cormier?
Yes.
Counselor Ronna Cormier?
Yes.
Counselor Generalowitz?
Yes.
Counselor Harder?
Yes.
Counselor Heath?
Yes.
Counselor Matt?
Yes.
Counselor Tyros?
Yes.
Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
And President Kaczynskis?
Yes.
11 yeas.
11 yeas, the motion passes. Item 10860, an order authorizing $107.96 payment of prior year for Airport Department operating expenditure. Report from the Finance Committee, Councilor Ron Cormier.
The Finance Committee is in favor of this. Commissioner Bullock retired in February, and a part-time clerk that's responsible for this was new at the same time. It got lost in the shuffle, just was never paid. It's in their budget, but it requires a 9/10 vote for them to be able to appropriate the money because of the lateness. So we were in favor of this, and I move the order.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Ron Cormier, seconded by Councilor Darrell-Owens to pass the order. Is there a discussion on the motion? Councilor
I
Walsh?
just have a question. What's the source of payment now that we're in almost halfway through our fiscal year?
We were
Mayor Nicholson?
Thank you very much, Madam President. This is, there is funding, we increased the funding in the professional services line item for the Airport Commission. The money's coming out of the regular commission's budget for the current fiscal year.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Further discussion? The clerk will please call the roll.
Counselor Boone,
Yes.
Counselor Boudreaux,
Yes.
Counselor Craig Cormier,
Yes.
Counselor Rona Cormier,
Yes.
Counselor Darrell Lowitz,
Yes.
Counselor Harder,
Yes.
Counselor Heath,
Yes.
Counselor Matt,
Yes.
Counselor Tyros,
Yes.
Counselor Walsh,
Yes.
and President Kaczynski.
Yes.
11 yeas.
11 yeas, the motion passes. Item 10863, in order transferring $36,500 from Veterans Department Veterans Benefit operating expenditures to clerk/assistant salaries and wages expenditures. Report from the Finance Committee, Counselor Darrell Lowitz.
Thank you, Madam President. Veteran Service Department has experienced an increase in workload due to the expansion of the office. As explained in the packet, Director Gabrilla has a surplus in the Veterans Benefit line item. Much of it to do with the work of the office, getting our veterans here off of Chapter 115 and on 115 benefits and onto Veterans Administration benefits. Transfer would bring up the Assistant Director of Veteran Services to a full-time position. Finance Committee was in favor, and I move the order.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Darrell Lowitz, seconded by Counselor Ron Cormier to pass the order. Is there discussion on the motion? The clerk will please call the roll.
Counselor Boone,
Yes.
Counselor Boudreaux,
Yes.
Counselor Craig Cormier,
Yes.
Counselor Rona Cormier,
Yes.
Counselor Darrell Lowitz,
Yes.
Counselor Harder,
Yes.
Counselor Heath,
Yes.
Counselor Matt,
Yes.
Counselor Tyros,
Yes.
Counselor Walsh,
Yes.
and President Kaczynski.
Yes.
11 yeas.
11 yeas, the motion passes. Item 10856, an ordinance to amend the Code of the City of Gardner, Chapter 171, Section 68, entitled Personnel Compensation Schedule related to FY 2023 Supplemental Budget. Report from the Finance Committee, Counselor Darrell Lowitz.
Thank you. This ordinance amendment is to add the changes made at our last meeting for the roles of GIS coordinator, part-time domestic violence advocate, and food/housing inspector to the compensation schedule. Finance Committee was in favor, and I move to amend the ordinance.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Darrell Lowitz, seconded by Counselor Ron Cormier. I believe this is to go to first printing. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10864, an ordinance to amend the Code of the City of Gardner, Chapter 171, entitled Personnel Compensation Schedule. Assistant Director of Veteran Services. Report from Finance Committee, Counselor Darrell Lowitz.
Thank you, Madam President. Similar to the previous one, we just approved the funding for veterans, the full-time position for the Assistant Director at the Veteran Services. Finance Committee was in favor, and I move to send the amendment to first printing.
Motion made by Counselor Darrell Lowitz, seconded by Counselor Tyros, to send the ordinance to first printing. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion passes. Appointments Committee, we already went through item number 10858 at the beginning. We took it out of order. Moving to Safety Committee, item 10857, an ordinance to amend the Code of the City of Gardner, Chapter 428, entitled Hawkers and Peddlers. Counselor Craig Cormier?
Yes, the Safety Committee met on this item, spoke to the Chief of Police about it. It was really, this was a 2010 ordinance that was passed. It's more to keep the city aware of private events that are being held and what vendors were going to be at those events, but they found that it was very inefficient when the city was hosting an event to have all these vendors apply, since the city already knew who all the vendors were going to be. So they're asking us to just amend this to exclude the city from this ordinance. The Safety Committee met on this and was unanimously in favor, and I move the ordinance to approve and send to first printing.
Motion made by Counselor Craig Cormier, seconded by Counselor Hardern to send the ordinance to first printing. Is there a discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Item 10861, an ordinance to amend the Code of the City of Gardner, Chapter 600, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Section 42, entitled One-Way Street. Counselor Craig Cormier?
Again, we met on this item and discussed it. The councilors were all in favor of this item, but we were concerned that the residents need to be aware of this ordinance before we pass it. So we are looking to ask for more time on this so that the city and the police department can get some feedback on this item before we vote on it. So we will ask for more time until the Safety Committee gets some input from the residents at our next meeting.
If there is no objection, the committee will be granted more time. The committee will be granted more time. There is no unfinished business and matters for reconsideration. Moving into new business. Councillor Heath.
Madam President, no new business today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tyros.
Thank you, Madam President. No new council business this evening.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Donalowitz.
Just quickly, I'd like to thank Council Boudreau for his service, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mack.
I'd also like to thank Councilor Boudreau for his 9 years as a city councilor. It's been a pleasure serving with you for the past 3 years and previously on the Public Service Committee. I know you will continue to be involved in the community, and I wish you the best. With this unexpected vacancy, I'd like to encourage all residents of Ward 3 who've considered becoming involved in public office to consider this opportunity to represent your ward. And finally, Merry Christmas to everyone as we start our 100th year as a city. On January 1st, 2023, it's the start to what I hope will be a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Craig Cormier.
I'd like to also just wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season, and to echo my fellow councilors. Thanks, Councillor Boudreau. I hope that he brings all the enthusiasm and dedication that he's brought to our city, to Hubbardston, and they'll be lucky to have him. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Boone.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to bring one thing up that Councillor Craig Cormier already mentioned. So we're looking to change Reagan Street to a one-way from Baker Street to Parker Street. So I just want to bring that up in the public, so maybe some other people hear about it. And we are trying to reach out, hopefully, to residents to let them know of the change and whether or not there's opposition or not. So just want to at least give them the opportunity to speak about what we're going to do. The next thing I wanted to talk about is we got sent an email about Wreaths Across America coming through Gardner possibly next year. So I know we have an 100th anniversary committee set up, so I'm hoping that maybe somebody considers to work with this Daniel Coburn. We all got sent an email with his contact information. I think it would be a great thing for Gardner. So I'm hoping that maybe somebody can help work on that, or I'm willing to help as well. And the last thing I'd like to say is Council Boudreau, it's been a pleasure working with you. You've been awesome, and as others said, enthusiastic, and wishing you the best. And I'm sure we'll see you, well, I hope we'll see you back here, maybe on this council chambers, or who knows where. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Boudreau.
Thank you, Madam President. I was going to go full scorch earth, but then a lot of people reminded me that we can see Hubbardston from here. So I would just like to take a moment to thank you all for working with me over the last 9 years or however long we have been working together, and to thank the people sitting at home of Ward 3 for their trust in me over the last 9 years, almost decade. I was really hoping to make it, but thank you for putting your trust in me. It's been real, it's been fun, and it has been real fun. I have been the funny counselor, I have been the deep and inspirational counselor, I have been Trolls and Watchdogs' favorite counselor, so it has really, really been a good time. As I leave, hopefully just for now, I told Councilor Walsh earlier, I am not running for City Council at this time. A nice little brief statement he taught me during my first term. But I would just like to point out to everybody, please remember that the people that run for this council and the people that win seats on this council have so much more in common than they have different from each other. Like the passion that is within us all, and the people that seek elected office and the people that volunteer is huge. So remember to put differences aside and appreciate each other, and just really try to understand why someone got to their difference in opinion. It's not the end of the world a lot of times. Like, it really isn't. So thank you all, and glory to Gardner, and see you next time.
Thank you, Councilor Boudreau. Councilor Harden.
Yes, Madam President.
Nicely done.
I'd like to say to Councilor Boudreau, I've sat near him and served with him for 9 years. Wonderful young man. He has grown tremendously. He's got a sense of humor and a great heart with a lot of intelligence that will take him far, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Walsh.
the residents of Ward 3 have had the good fortune to be served by a ward councilor who brings enthusiasm and passion to the job and a tireless work ethic that we all should be fortunate enough to possess. We can only hope that the next person who holds that seat will bring with him or her the same level of commitment that we've had and benefit from with Councilor Woodrow over the last 9 years. Congratulations and good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Ron Cormier.
Councilor Boudreau, you've learned your lessons well. You've been a good student as well as a great counselor. And I think the town of Hubbardston is very fortunate to have you. And to everyone else, a Merry Christmas and a good night.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Boudreau, good luck. Thank you for your service, and we wish you very well. And I will entertain a motion on the floor to adjourn after the closing flare. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Counselor Boudreau.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Boone. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion passes. Almighty Father, who sees over all, as we adjourn, we thank you for the opportunity of joint deliberation and action witnessed during the course of this meeting. Bless, O Lord, all who are gathered here, and the people whose representatives we are, and do thou attend to our common welfare until our next meeting. Amen. Meeting stands adjourned. Thank you, everyone.